This PowerPoint is going to give you information about the design principles. And just like the elements of design, there are going to be 7 design principles that I really want you to take note of. We're going to be discussing the design principles. Remember, the young child is a natural designer, and a drawing is a reflection of your special self. Your art also tells others how you see and feel about the world. In turn, it also tells you about you. A visual structure is a composition, an arrangement, or ordering, beginning with the first pencil mark or brush stroke on a surface, continuing until the final detail is completed. Visual structuring can range from simple to complex. There are no formulas for producing good designs, but the search for organizing qualities is a creative process and a work of art. Every individual brings to these visual qualities the art elements and visual relationships. All designs carry the individual mark of the creator, reflecting our personalities, feelings, and emotions, statement of message we express, our perceptions, our experiences, and a way of ordering the visual elements. We respond in unique ways in creating design. We begin by analyzing, by sorting out what we see. We rarely see forms in isolation. We see them in relation to each other. In all painting, drawing, and the arts, we first consider the idea. Here are the 7 principles of design that I would like you to remember: balance, contrast, emphasis, movement, pattern, rhythm, and unity. Sometimes you'll see 2 of them linked together, and in some cases there'll be another principle added on, but these are the 7 that I really find the most important. The principle of design: balance. Balance is the act of visual equilibrium determined by weight, directional forces, and opposing tensions in a work of art. Asymmetrical balance: there is unequal distribution of forces on either side of the picture. In symmetrical balance, there's equal distribution of forces on either side of the picture. Radial balance: all the art composition radiates from a central point. And weight: the weight often depends on the location in a drawing. In order to balance a drawing, you will have to organize the lines, shapes, values, spaces, colors, patterns, and textures until they feel right to you. There are several hundred possibilities. To balance comfortably, you will have to use your own judgment. This is a great poster showing the different types of balance. You have symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial. This concept chart was developed so you can use these ideas into your classroom. So you can discuss the idea of feeling balanced with your students, discuss balance in nature, discuss balance in architecture and spaces. You can discuss balance as found in artists' works, discuss how balance can influence mood, study symmetrical, asymmetrical, and radial designs, and discuss how weight affects balance with location, size, colors, singly or in combination, geometric or irregular. Some other ideas would be to discuss balance as it relates to other design principles, discuss balance as it relates to the art elements, discuss balance in decorative artworks, discuss balance in abstract artworks, discuss balance in realistic artworks, discuss ways balance can create a mood or feeling. The principle of design: emphasis. Now we're going to turn our attention to dominance or emphasis. Dominance is a focal point of the greatest emphasis or stress. Emphasis, center of interest, or dominance can be created by placement in the center, brightest color surrounded by more muted colors, and size, a large object balanced by smaller objects, or vice versa. Emphasis can also be created by contrast. That's differences in forms, colors, textures, and shapes. Also in all over similar designs, changing the sequence to create a focal point. Check out this poster over emphasis. It talks about the focus, the main idea, what grabs my attention. Now, as teachers, how can we discuss emphasis and dominance with our students? So let's look at this concept chart. We can discuss with our students how to create a center of interest with size, placement, color, value, contrast, and balance. We can discuss how to create dominance in line, shape, value, space, color, pattern, and texture. We can discuss dominance in decorative designs. We can discuss dominance in abstract works and artworks with subject matter. And how can dominance emphasis create moods and feelings in artworks? Here are some more concepts that we can use in our classroom. We can discuss how artists use dominance emphasis in various ways, discuss dominance in a psychological use, discuss how we have focal points in our lives, discuss how society has certain dominant characteristics, practice achieving dominance emphasis, centers of interest, focal points with various media. The principle of design, movement. I have linked rhythm and movement together. We're talking about the continuity, flow, or repetition of a line, shape, value, or color to suggest a rhythm or movement. A curved line suggests a different movement than a straight line. A sequence of images can suggest motion or rhythm. Multiple overlapping imagery suggests movement through time. Repetition of an object with some changes, such as diminishing size or value, can indicate movement. If spaces between art forms are equal, there is a feeling for order and unity. If spaces between art forms are different, there is a great amount of variety and little order. Movement can move the eye across a picture. It can be implied by the path of a line traveling from deep space toward the picture plane. It can also be from foreground or middle ground to the background. I really like this poster over rhythm and movement. A regular repetition of the elements of art can create a sense of movement or rhythm. Let's check out some concepts. We can discuss with our students the meaning of rhythm, such as flow or repetition, draw a design with sequential images, draw a design by varying the sequences of images, discuss repetition of lines, values, shapes, colors, etc. Draw or discuss spaces between art forms if they are equal, order and unity, or unequal, variety. And we can also discuss movement across the picture. We can also discuss movement by a path from deep space forward with our students. We can discuss rhythm and decorative, abstract, and designs with subject matter. We can look at artworks for rhythm using similarity, repetition, movement, unity, and variation. We can identify rhythm in nature, in architecture, or design products. And we can discuss rhythm and pattern in relation to cultural objects. The principles of design, contrast, and variety. Let's look at contrast. Similar art concepts create harmony and unity. But when there are opposites, there is a contrast, such as constraints between light and dark, thin and thick, hard and soft. Objects that are similar create the feeling of order, but objects that are different create variety and greater contrast. Check out this poster for variety. Variety is a number of different types of things. Variety shows contrast. There is no end to the variety in nature and man-made things. Now let's go through these concepts together. We can identify contrast in all of the art elements. We can discuss and draw contrasting lines, shapes, values, shadows, spaces, textures. We can discuss contrast in nature and environment. We can view works and identify ways the artist used contrast. And we can identify contrast in decorative design and abstract art. Now here are some things that I want you to take away from this PowerPoint. Remember, a composition is an orderly arrangement, placing the parts together into a whole, whether composing a musical piece, a dance, a painting, an essay, or even a poem. Only you can decide what you will include in your artwork. Decide how you will handle the space. What is your point of view? Realistic or imaginative? Flat or in depth? Remember, you, the artist, have the privilege to change the design as you will. A design is successful when it is complete in itself and one can respond enthusiastically to it with excitement and interest. Please take time to really look over this poster dealing with the principles of art. It has the principles pattern, emphasis, variety, unity, balance, rhythm, and movement, but it's included proportion. And that's how parts fit together to make a whole. And that's really important when you're dealing with a composition. Art itself is a continually challenging adventure.